Hello, student. My name is Muhammad Rahim, and I am a teacher of science as well as mathematics. Today, in this video, we will discuss about science, and in science lecture, the first chapter comes in your 10th class, that is chemical equation and chemical reaction and its equation. Now you can just look behind of me on the board, that is chemical reaction and equation. In this video, I'm not going to speak in Hindi. Every times I'll be speaking in English because it is a session of pure English medium. And welcome back to another session of science, chemical reaction and equation. Now in this video we are going to discuss about that what kind. This is a introduction, and in introduction we will not we want to know a lot of things, because in introduction we can tell you a small kind of information about this chapter. And now the first things which comes in front of you, the topics to be covered. What kind of topics I'm going to cover? What kind of topics I'm going to cover in this session, in this chapter? In this chapter, the first topic, that is chemical reaction and equation. We will know definition of that topic, and after that we will enter in characteristics of chemical reaction. And now the third one is balancing of chemical reaction. Now the fourth one is types of chemical reaction. Types of chemical reaction. How many types of chemical reactions are found in our daily life? And now in science, now the fifth one is called as corrosion. Corrosion is that kind of thing, that is a last topic, and that I'm going to discuss in last part of this chapter. And now the uh, without without speaking a lot about that chapter, and we will jump directly into that chapter. And now the time has come to tell about that chapter. And now one by one everything we will know about this chapter. And this is a detailed lecture, and I'm not taking one short lecture of that chapter. In this chapter we will walk in slow process, and sometimes I can make mistakes in speaking English, because my English is very slow, as my English will be very slow, as well as sometimes I can make mistakes in speaking. And you don't have to take, but everything you will understand in this with the help of that lecture. And one by one I'll try my best to explain. And this in this chapter we will create almost 5 to 6 video. In 5 to 6 video I will complete that whole chapter. Now we will take 5 to 6 video to complete that whole chapter. Now without delaying, now jump into the that chapter. Now the we will discuss, first of all we will discuss about that topic, that is chemical reaction as well as equation. Now what is the chemical reaction and equation? What are the chemical reaction as well as equation? Now coming back to next page of that board, that slide, we will change that slide after cutting that video. We will cut that video in between, because I cannot take a lot of time, because I don't have smart board to teach you, my student. But I have that whiteboard. With the help of whatever is the main purpose of this chapter, we will discuss everything we will discuss, and you don't have, and I'll provide that note in my links, and in my description, and you will get all the notes in my description. And now I will send my that link of that notes, and after that you can, if you want to write with me, you can write everything, each and every part. Now, the coming back to another slide. Now, again, coming back to another slide, that is chemical reaction. What is the chemical reaction? When I talk about chemical reaction, it is a process. It is a process in which one or more substances, the reactions are converted to one or more different substances, the products. It is written, you can just read that read that definition, and try to remember, and try to write in your notebook, so that you can remember that note quickly. And I told you in this, right now, just I have told you that it is a process in which the reactants, one or more reactants is converted into one or more one or more converted into products. That is the main purpose of that chemical reaction. You might have seen that kind of events in your house, that when you keep uh, milk milk in your home at room temperature, and for a long time, then after 1 days, what what do you see? What do you look? Did you Do you look that milk is milk is that milk same milk? No, you will not get. After 2 days, if you will look, your milk at is kept in a pot, that milk will be converted into curd. That is the chemical reaction. I wanna talk some most important about, before talking about chemical reaction. I want to tell about something most important part, which you have studied in ninth class, and now you have studied in ninth class physical change as well as chemical change. Did you study? Did you study or not? Tell me in the comment section, because it is a recorded class, and I cannot provide any live class with you. That is why I have to face some difficulty to know about your doubt. And I will come in the evening. I'll come every day at 8 p.m. in that channel live, so that I can solve your problems from time to time. And whatever you you will have doubt, and I'll try my best to solve at that time. Okay, now the this is another thing, sir, and try to discuss about topics. And when what is a physical change? First of all, I'll tell you about physical change, and after that I'll try to discuss about chemical change. And in physical change, we see when we burn any mom, that after burning that mom becomes mom becomes only mom. That is a in that process, uh, anything anything become new or not? Tell me. Anything anything didn't become new. That is it is a process. Physical change. What is a physical change? You can write definition. It is a process. In that process, anything anything doesn't become new in that process. That is called as physical change. And that kind of change that kind of change in which we see new things after changing. And we can take example of milk, and which I have told you right now. Just I have told you about milk. And when we keep any fruit in our home, and that fruit and after some days, when we will go to eat that food, what do we see? that that food will be spoiled. That food will be spoiled, and we will not be able to have that food, because that food has become in that process something become new. And when we keep in our home any grapes, that after 3 days, if we see that grapes will be converted into in new product. And when we see that iron in humid atmosphere, and in the presence of air, and if we leave that iron for a long time, for a long process, and one day when we look after long after completing long process, that day we see that iron becomes iron becomes in brownish colors. That iron converts in brownish colors. That is a roast roast of iron. That things we are going to study in the last topic. In corrosion topic, we will study that rusting of iron. And in that process, did what did I see? What do we see? We saw some new product become. And that is called physical change, oh, chemical change. Sorry, chemical change. It is a process. It is that kind of process um, in which we look new things after 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 reacting with that process. After completing any process of any times, after completing times, we get that product spoiled, and we get that product is converted and changed product. In that we get new things. That is why we can say that is a chemical change is a chemical reaction. What is a chemical reaction? It is a chemical reaction. Chemical change, it is a when we see chemical change, we can say that is chemical reaction. And that is a definition of chemical reaction. Chemical reaction, it is a process in which one or more substances, the reactions are converted to one or more different substances, the products. When we see what is a reactant, let's assume we take magnesium. we take magnesium and we burnt magnesium in the presence of oxygen, and we collect S, and that S is blackish color and white, not blackish, white color blackish. We get magnesium oxide, and that is a reactant, and that is a product. And when we write chemical, we write reactant left hand side, and we write that product our right hand side, and in between we represent one arrow, and that is a arrow. You can just look that arrow, and we can write in between of element that plus sign, and in between of in products we can write in between of element plus signs, we can represent, and anything's doubt, and sometimes I can make mistakes in speaking, and my grammar is not very perfect, and you don't have to think more than enough. One day that grammar will be perfect, and I believe on my education, and I believe on my channel, and try to give me more like and subscribe. And now coming back to another topic, that is chemical equation. What is the chemical equation? What is chemical? What are the chemical equations? First, the first things we will read that statement, and after that I'll try to explain that method. And now, a chemical equation is the symbol representation of a chemical reaction in the form of symbols and formula, wherein the reactant entities are given on the left hand side and the product entities on the right hand side. What did I tell you right now? That things that chemical equations are telling you right now, that definition. I told you that when we say that occurred chemical reaction, in chemical reaction we cannot write everything in the long process. To make that chemical process short and very short and simple, we represent with the help of formula as well as with the help of symbols. We represent that process in the form of symbols as well as formula, so that we can convert in simple and very simple as well as a very short process, and we cannot face a lot of difficulty to write to remember that reaction. Okay, that is why. And on the entities are given on the left hand, reactant entities are given on the left hand, so that is a reactant. When we see that, that is a reactant, left hand side. When we see left hand side, and that as this like left hand side, that is reactant. And what we calls to that side, this is present in at the right hand of side, that is product. What do we call? It is called products. product Product, reactants as well as product. And in between we write arrow, and that plus signs, we can represent that plus signs, and so that we cannot miss any part of that chapter. Now the it I have I hope you have understood everything, and I wanna go to next slide now. Are you ready for to go to next slide now? Okay, let's go to next slide. Now the again I have come in third slide. That is a third slide example. We will discuss in third slide. That is example of chemical reaction. When I talk about chemical reaction, we we see in our home cooking food when our parents, not parents, when our mother cooks food in our house. That time we we that we must have seen that process in our home, and that we our mother put some rice as well as some water, and after that that burns, and with the help of that burning method, with the help of that burning method, that it is heat, it is heat, and after heating to that rice becomes food, and that food we can eat that food, and after that we cannot eat our rice, and what do what do we see? That convert that rice converted into food, and that food we can eat. That means in that process something formed new, something formed new, and that is called as chemical reaction. And that is a when we talk about photosynthesis, that photosynthesis, it is a process, it is found in our plant, in our around, in our in our sorry, in our surrounding, that is the plant. In plant, that is a process that is found in plant, in the presence of sunlight, and that in the presence of chlorophyll, and heat, that plant takes carbon dioxide in time of day, and after that he he makes glucose, and he makes that plant makes food, and in the presence of water, that is a photosynthesis. We will discuss in physics, we will discuss in physics, sorry, we will discuss that photosynthesis quickly and so early. Cars rusting. When I talk about cars rusting, it is a process, it is a process when we see, when our that means our car is, that means doesn't work, our car doesn't work, uh, keep we keep that car in one place, and after a long time, what do we see? We see brownish colors in that iron, and iron converts in brownish color. That is why we call to that process cars of rusting. And frying an egg, what is a frying an egg? Frying an egg, yeah, and that means when we make a omelette in our home, and we we bring egg from the market, and after that, when we after bursting that egg, when we fry that, that becomes an omelette, and that in that process formed something formed new, and that is why we call to that process chemical reaction. It happened chemical, it occurred chemical reaction. And now the coal burning. What is a coal burning? In coal burning, when we see in our house, as well as in um, in our old in our old time, uh, you might have seen that process when train is train uh, train runs train the train run run with the process of coal. And now right now the train has come like a that train runs in the puttery in the rail line, that that is the process in the process of electricity, and with the help of electricity as well as with the help of machine, and everything we see, and that has converted right now, and we see in our home when our mother cooks food with the help of coal burning, and that time we burns coal, and coal becomes in ash, and that ash becomes at became new, that ash we saw new substance. That is why we can call to that process, that is chemical reaction. Now manufacture of medicines, we you might not have seen that process. Still that is uh, something that when people make medicine, that substances bring from the plant, as well as another things, and after that he converts to that medicine, and that medicine uh, we have when we get fever, and when we get sick, that time we use that medicine. And now this is this was the lecture 1, and in lecture 1 I have um, I hope you have understood each and every part. And do you have any doubt related that lecture 1? In lecture 1 I have discussed, and we will bring that lecture to quickly, so early, so that you can understand, you can read in pure English. And I'm not going to speak in Hindi. And in my old video I had told to my student that one day my lecture will be converted into pure English, and that is the truth. That was the truth, and I brought that lecture in pure English medium, and so that you can learn English as well as subject knowledge. And um, I'm not going to teach you only science. I'm going to teach you math as well, so that with the help of math as well as science, that is a strongest subject. When you make that subject strong in your life, then in your higher classes you will do something most bold, and something great, and you will glorify your name after going to in higher classes. Now we will see you we will meet again in that channel, and follow my the sorry subscribe my YouTube channel. And if you like my video, then hit the like button. And okay, thank you, we will meet again.